Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Poetry of Intimacy Lounge with me, Anna. I go by Honeybee, and this is my new friend, Sven. And I'm excited to grab our little cup of tea and cacao and light the candles and laugh at the mess and magic of love. So this is a poetic playground where intimacy can become living rituals and communication becomes art. So wherever you are in your life, whatever season you're in, I'm just really excited for you to be here. So whatever season of love, whether you're healing, suffering, or you are in a season of expansion and wild liberation, wherever you are, this is a place for soulful storytelling and authentic conversations to learn how to become safer lovers, rooted in our truth and guided by God's blessing along the way. So I'm really excited. This is the first time I'm doing a live on the interwebs, on the internet. And I want to welcome my new friend, Sven, who is a breathwork facilitator and a channeler from Switzerland. He is currently in the mountains and he channels messages from the divine, and he gently guides all humans to Christ consciousness. And just through his reels, he captures the hearts of many. And yeah, so I found a reel online, I want to say a week ago, and it just resonated with me and I had to learn more. I was like, this man is onto something in his words, what resonates, what vibrates, what comes through. And I felt in my heart that this was an important connection because I feel like we are looking for safe men in society that understand or have a clue on how to connect and become safer communicators, lovers, rooted in God's truth, just able to have these conversations. So, yeah, I love that you are here and you said yes. And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
what
yeah,
a wonderful introduction.
yeah.
Couldn't have done it better. No, wonderful. And how do you actually want me to call you? Honeybee or Anna?
Honestly, what comes through for you,
Okay,
it's
okay.
both.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Well, all right. Anna, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so
yes.
excited, really. And again, the introduction you gave about safe lovers, about discovering our truth, all of that, it's beautiful. And I'm happy that I can facilitate and give something into that space as well from my perspective. So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. And I would love to just light my candle because I love making this space feel more like a lounge and give us the opportunity. So if you at home have your candles and you're chilling and you want to light your Palo Santo or your sage or anything that helps you connect the divine, just frankincense in your diffuser, whatever that is for you, just want to invite the opportunity. Actually, one time I was doing this during a call
Yeah.
and I lit my couch on fire. This pad underneath me lit
Yeah.
on fire. I was like, is that a sign from God? What does this mean?
Yeah. Don't
Yes.
do that at
So
home, guys.
don't please practice safe fire skills.
Yeah.
And I would love to, yeah, open up this ritual space. I love to make spaces feel ceremonial, whether I'm working one-on-one with clients or I'm just wanting to bring and open this portal and protect us from energies that
Mm.
do not serve us. So, Sven, if you are open to a prayer, I would love to
Yeah,
witness
let's do
and
that.
hold the space. Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's coming through there. For all the listeners, you can also take a few breaths just into your heart space. The heart is a wonderful place where we get in touch with our essence, with our vibrational essence, which is our soul. So I invite you to just gently breathe into your heart. With each exhale, letting go a little bit more. I'm truly so happy to be here with all of you, dear listeners, to share about love. We are all together in this journey. We're all trying our best to overcome the pain, the sufferings, the doubts, the attachment, jealousies, all of the things And I want you to know, dear listener, that you are never alone in that, and that all the suffering and all the challenges that you might have in your relationships where you do not feel seen, not feel loved, they can be overcome. These challenges are actually there for your growth. And so I pray for all of us to have the courage to always hold on to the highest vision of love, the highest vision of freedom within us and in others. And I really pray to divine consciousness that it illuminates the way for us, that we all learn to live vulnerable, open, and loving. Because what else are we here for than to show unconditional love to our brothers and sisters? What else are we here for than to truly walk each other home, looking into each other's eyes and reflecting the depths of our soul to each other so that we all recognize who we truly are? And that is what intimacy, divine union is about. And I am so happy today to talk with Anna about it, inviting you into the deeper space of it, how we can achieve it, how we can live it, express it, and embody it. Let's go.
Amen.
Yeah, now should play some heavenly music.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Thank you for your prayer and your process live for everybody to hear. It's really beautiful to witness. And yeah, I was actually going to say I need to take a sip of my cacao and pour a little warmer. Have you done a little cacao ceremony ever?
Oh yeah, I did. I love
Yum,
it.
yum.
I've done it in Bali with many breathworks and ecstatic dance sessions. I really love it.
Mm.
But here, not that
Mm-hmm.
much. I don't know, cacao here in the Swiss mountains, it's far away somehow, you know. We don't have the good cacao, and yeah, so I
Wait,
barely do it here.
you said yesterday it's the Tolbarone Mountain?
Yeah, yeah,
So there's the
exactly.
chocolate.
Yeah, but that's not ceremonial. You know, when I want ceremonial
Mm-hmm.
cacao, there's no sugar
Yeah,
in it. There is no.
exactly.
It needs to be raw from Mother Earth.
Well, that's a fun fact about you. Is it called Tolbarone Mountain?
No, everybody calls it that, but no, it's called Matterhorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun facts we learn every day that we did not know yesterday. So, okay. So, gosh, yes, let's get this poppin'. Yeah, I felt really called to this energy in your space because I feel I've come across, men in the festival community or just in this community that have been, for lack of better words, maybe unconscious or unaware, maybe of emotions or things that feel kind of like what women want is like this intimacy. And I'm going to speak from the woman, perspective, but partners, people who are same sex that, love in a different way than us, like all of that is welcome in this all inclusive space. So I just want to note that I am, a female, I go by she, her, but this is me speaking to how I embody the, relationship with a man. That's just who I am and what I love. And so in this space, I've just felt like men have been unconscious or unaware to be able to have deep conversations or kind of pin women up against themselves. And, I've been told what to wear, what to do. Oh, I don't like that shirt. Are you really eating that? And so there's been this energy that I've had to fight to come out to find myself and be like, no, I'm rooted in my truth and I know who I am. And that doesn't feel good. It feels icky. So there's been a part of me that's like, I just wish there was more men leaders to help initiate men, to talk to men, to have men's circles, to have real conversations so that like, what I don't even know, like, do you go to men's school? But like, it's this feeling of like, why don't men understand or what's
Mm.
going on in this unconscious place? So one of your reels spoke to me about the porn and how, the lustfulness, not feeling devoted and wanting to bring devotion to the union and the sacred intimacy monogamy platform that we are, on. And so
Mhm.
the first question I have is, you say things so smoothly and it comes right out of you. And I'm just curious when you knew that this was a message that you needed to start sharing. Like, it could be the first video that you shared. It could be like the first moment where you're like, yeah, like this is what I need to do, or
Mm,
or something calling you to pull you in that direction. Curious if you remember the moment.
yeah, I do. I mean, it's hard to say if it was one moment, okay? But it was a continuous, awakening in that sense. But it is a very good question. And I would say that I realized that my pain was intense attachment to women. I think as every man or most men have. But it was that feeling of I need them. I want to have approval. I want to be validated. My sense of masculinity was really coming from women. Okay. And in my past, when I broke up with my very first girlfriend, I was in huge pain. It was a real trauma of toxic attachment, and I did not know for years how to overcome that. I really didn't know. How am I getting rid of that pain inside of me? How am I able as a man to move on from my ex girlfriend? And I thought it is my ex girlfriend I'm attached to. But later I saw it is the attachment to all women, that she actually just she was the projection of a trauma that was inside of me. And I realized I need to heal my attachment to the feminine, or at least my relationship to the feminine. And funny enough, when I experimented, went into breath works, released trauma, but especially when I chose to stop watching porn, to heal my sexuality, stop the usual self pleasure that a man is used to, that is full of tension. The more I stopped these things, the more celibacy was another thing. When I was in that state, I realized that I'm losing this strong attachment and need. I would even call it need to have women. Okay. There was a point where I felt asexual, but even in that point, I started to forget about my ex girlfriend, but not in a negative sense. I hold a lot of love, but I started to detach, and I realized I was more playful around women. I was more fun. I didn't care that much anymore how I looked. I was able to speak my truth because I was no more scared how they perceive me. And that was a very life changing moment, because I was like, for many years, I could not really let go. And now I am here, and I feel like I'm healing my past relationship. I forgave my mother. I have a better relationship with my mother. I'm not addicted to porn anymore. I can be in celibacy and don't feel the need and constant horniness, which we feel as being normal as a man. And out of that came the huge urge to share it with my brothers, mostly because I was like, many are suffering from that for sure. And that confusion and cheating and betrayal and heartbreak. I wish they know what I experienced in these moments. And that was the changing point where I was like, I want them to experience the same inner freedom from that.
Hmm. Yes, that's very beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is real. I think attachment to love is one of the hardest things. And that's why I like to start this space with saying the mess and the magic of love, because love could feel really messy. It could like shake
Mm,
up your nervous system. It can make you feel so vulnerable, raw, naked, bruised, battered, unworthy. It can make you feel so many things in suffering. And I think attachment, when you were speaking attachment, that's one of the biggest things for me. If I had to put a label on it, and according to attachment theory, I would say I'm the anxious attachment.
mhm,
Growing up in a family that doesn't have like almost trying to help parent and mediate their drama and their traumas, and trying to see like, where can I feel love, and feeling like love is so broken. And so every man that's come into my sphere, I feel like when we ended, there was such an emotional attachment that I held on to for years, that the suffering was so real that I don't want to say I lost years of my life, but I felt very much like I could have been doing so much more in those years, but I spent it crying, feeling unworthy, wondering why I'm broken. Why won't a
Mhm.
man ever love me? And there was actually a man who had said, you know, I don't date girls with daddy issues. And so I
Mhm.
even felt more broken. Like, wow, because me and my dad had this rupture that I wanted a safe man. Of course, I don't
Mhm.
have a man figure in my life that felt safe. So any experience sexual was really like, "Oh yeah, this is it. Like I want more of this." And then,
Mhm.
come to find out that I was just giving away my essence and not really creating deep intimacy. I was
Mhm.
just thirsty for something to cling on to that wasn't wholesome. It
Mhm.
wasn't sustainable, and it always left me feeling empty.
Mhm.
So I feel that, I resonate with this heartbreak, and everyone's heartbreak might look different, but I really like what you said and how you're using healing because I too, and we're learning about each other in real time. I
Mhm.
too, using breath work and using ways to calm myself down, even the inner self critic, like, how can I speak to myself nicer? Like, what can I say to myself and not condemn me for being too emotional or
Mhm.
needy? Like, no, love is my superpower. Love is my superpower.
Mhm.
And until a man can see that and feel that, I'm going to keep saying that because
Mhm.
I do think men also crave love and deep intimacy once they get through this ego of, I must, conquer and be this
Mhm.
conquistadora to a woman and claim her. I feel
Mhm.
personally, I would love to be claimed. I would love to be like, she is mine, and not in a possessive way, but just like, mhm, I see her and I
Mhm.
want that,
Mhm.
and not in this like completely lustful way, but in a way that like I want to build and, create.
Mhm.
So all of that is so relevant. And I think
Mhm.
what you were sharing online, this is a big one. What is the difference between a man and a boy? And this might
Mhm.
be really triggering for some,
Mhm.
but I think it's a really good question because you bring this up in
Mhm.
your medicine and what you share. And so, drum roll, like, what do you what I know it doesn't matter about age, but what
Mhm.
is that initiation of, like, when a man touches his soul and his spirit? Like, what would you have you been sharing? I'd love to hear it in real time.
Yeah. So you mean the difference between boy and man, right?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, it has nothing obviously to do with the age. And I love that you use the word initiation. We lack in today's world an initiation, men and women. But the point is this, Anna, that there is 3 life cycles, or there is from year 0 to 7, from 7 to 14, and from 14 to 21 years old. There are 3 cycles. The first one, 0 to 7, is very emotional. Okay, we just give our emotional needs to our parents. We cry when we need milk and all of these things. Then we go into school. That's the mental cycle. Okay, from 7 till 14, we are in the mental cycle. We get more mental about things. And then we come into puberty. That is from 14 to 21. And that is the physical aspect of ourselves. We go through that transformation. Now, the emotional part is mostly the feminine. And when I talk about woman and man, it's the feminine aspects inside of us. Okay. The divine feminine lives in me and the divine masculine lives in you, and vice versa. There's both aspects always. And the emotional part, that is our feminine aspect. Now, if we are taught as men, and actually in the society, we are very much masculine based in the sense of we are very mental, rational, and we are very physical, transfixed. Okay. And with that, we suppress our emotional content, our emotional imprint from the first 7 years. We go mental about it, we suppress it with our rational mind. And physically, we try to change life all the time in order to feel better. So, what does that mean? That the emotional aspect of us got somewhere stuck, it's not developed. That means that emotional part is still trapped within the cycle of 0 to 7. Okay, so psychologically, we're still a kid. Most of us are still children. We want to manipulate women or people in order to feel better. We want to manipulate life all the time in order to feel better. Manipulation comes from the word, you can say it, or a little game, man nipple nation. It's what a kid, child learns in order to get the nipple, the milk. It starts to cry and stuff. It starts to manipulate so it can get it. So what I want to say with that is that we men are still boys because we have an emotional wound and we try to all the time chase success, money, cars, bigger muscles, more women. We need the mother in order to save us from that pain we have. Porn is just a distraction from that inner pain. So that is where we are still children to some degree. Yeah. And a man is, as you say, it's not the macho man. It's actually a sensual man. It's actually a sensitive man. It's a man who conquered his own heart again. We men are so deep, Anna. We are really loving, sensitive beings. Like if you would see men crying or sharing about how they really feel, you would see that at their essence, what we truly love is to take care. We truly love to be of service. We truly love to give our gifts and play with our women in an intimate space, show our vulnerability. And we men need to regain that sensuality of ourselves. But for it to be experienced, we need to go through all the painful emotions that we suppressed mentally and physically. And that is where we start to grow up.
Here. I I'm like still processing everything you just said because it's very good wisdom. And to hear it from, a man feels very refreshing. Women sit and they talk in their circles and they're like, oh, I just wish he would be like this, or he would do this, or he would,
Yeah, and that's a very nice point, actually. Let me catch on that.
Yeah.
It's you women have a huge potential, the biggest power actually, to lead us men back to that sensuality and to our core, because we are more emotional, so you are still more in touch with that aspect. And here's the point. I do understand that there is a lot of collective, even ancestral rage and resentment against men. Okay. The thing is, through blame and through really resentment, you will never get to the depth of a man. You get to the depth of a man if you show unconditional love, which you as a woman, deep down, you know best what that is. That doesn't mean you always stay with a man. That doesn't mean that you do everything he tells you. That has nothing to do with unconditional love.
Right. Yeah.
To see, no matter what the mask is he's wearing, no matter how tough and angry and numb he seems to be, if you look into his eyes and you try to look through into the young, hurt boy, the sensitive man that is somewhere there hiding, and if you keep on seeing that inside of him, I believe you start talking and being differently to him, and in that softness, he will sooner or later start to softening as well. You're very much his role model, not his mother, but a role model. By simply you embodying your divine feminine, you lead him simultaneously to his divine masculine. So it's important to not go into women's circle or whatever. That's sometimes what I hear from men in a energy of, I'm going with my sisters and all of us together, we are gonna show those men what real women are, and that we are not gonna please them anymore. And that is an energy of rage and anger as well. That doesn't do anything.
Right.
You might feel strong and okay from all the suppression of the feminine. Temporarily, you feel like, now I'm in charge. And that is already the next step, but it's not the divine step. The divine step is never against the masculine, and the masculine never against the feminine.
So it's like, from what I'm hearing, it's like the woman has to heal her own rage or her own relationship with men, which is really interesting that you said that because of what we talked about yesterday before this. of how I had a deep rage with men in my life, in my sphere, because I was mad at my father for treating my mom the way he did, the way he talked to her, the way that fight, and his anger, his grinding of his teeth, and I would be like shaking, like I was afraid sometimes, not most of the time. And so when I came into relationship and partnership with men that did something to trigger me or upset me, it would be the end of the world, and they would know how angry I am. I mean, I was known to throw plates, dishes, burritos. Like, when I'm pissed, I'm like and just I would throw things just to show that I'm angry and I want to feel the power because I felt powerless next to my father. Like,
Mhm.
I felt powerless to feel like he heard me. There was actually a time when my dad and I were fighting, and I gave him the same face that he had been giving me all these years, and I
Mhm.
gave him the angry, teeth grinding face, and I looked him in the eyes, and I gave him the mirror of what he's been doing my whole life, and that was the first time I saw him, like, soften and be like, "Whoa, what
Mhm.
did I create?" It's almost
Mhm.
like I saw him see that he created this monster within me
Mhm.
that was, like, giving it back to him,
Mhm.
and through that unraveling, it's been a long road. I wanna say maybe 15 years of trying to heal my relationship to the men in my life, and luckily, my brother is a safe person, but he's also traumatized, so I've had to help, like, "Hey, like, soften. Hey, you don't wanna be this way to your daughters. Hey, I could hear dad in your voice, like, can you change your tone? You don't wanna repeat this thing that's gonna perpetuate anger and aggression." And
Mhm.
so I like what you said is like, you're not going to beat the man into submission to being sensual and loving with you through your anger with him, that
Mhm.
it's almost like you have to be a pillar of softness and you have to do, like, women have to do the work.
Well, here is important thing. Yeah, the pillar of softness. That's absolutely crucial. But the rage is a wonderful tool of you women. I love the rage of a woman. That's the rage you see in rage, but you see in nature the storms, and that's aliveness. Okay. The thing is this: what I would challenge every woman out there is, can you feel while you're in rage and while you give that to the man? Can you simultaneously learn how to express and show him the deeper yearning behind the rage? Can you be so rageful and feel in your heart that what's behind that rage is your desire to maybe be claimed, seen, loved into oblivion? Do you know that this is the message behind the rage? Nobody wants to stay stuck in the rage. The rage is just a tool to get down to the very bottom of who you are. Now, a woman can learn to express her deepest yearning. And sometimes that deepest yearning needs to be expressed through rage. You can get into a good, space with a man through really showing that. But there is a difference between a rage that is just blaming, putting up a wall between you and the man, or a rage that really expresses that deeper yearning. And that's a crucial difference of a conscious woman and an unconscious woman.
Mm. And I love, like, in this type of work, thank you for saying that. I love in this type of work, when I work with clients, we talk about the felt sense in the body and what is the body feeling in any given moment, and not to export the feeling like it's making you feel broken, but rather invite it in. And I feel like rage is another form of passion. Like, even though there's anger, there might be aggression, there might be energy, like it feels a lot. Like, it
Mm,
feels like a forward pushing motion, or it feels like, but that's also what I feel like passion is. So when we're associating that with passion, like, okay, can we also reframe it and see it like, yeah, I'm really passionate about this. I'm passionate about you not talking to me that way. I'm passionate about you treating me differently. I'm passionate about how I want to be loved deeper. And that's kind of like another
yeah,
flavor of
yeah,
rage, and also justice. Like, I want
yeah.
what is right. I'm passionate about what is right for me. I'm passionate about not being treated a certain way. And
Hmm.
so when I heard that, I felt a little less like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
anger has consumed me,
yeah,
because it has.
yeah. That's beautiful. I love what you just said with with the deeper, that a woman always invites us men into her depth, and she knows, soul of a woman knows that her depth is infinite, it's eternal. Okay, you will never get to the bottom. So she is consistently inviting a man into that depth. Now the divine masculine wants to penetrate that depth. It wants to go into that depth. It wants to claim a woman and say, hey, lead me to the very depths of this love, of this life. I'm going to devote myself to you. I want to see what's there. Now,
That's what we want. Yes.
yeah, if a
Keep it going. Keep
woman
it going.
yeah, if a woman has put up the walls and protection mechanisms, she will not allow him to go deeper. And if a man is scared of the depth inside of himself, he will also create a blockage. And that's a blockage we see in the world. And then this divine energy that actually wants to explore love gets distorted. How? Instead of depth, we start to seek variety, maybe. We start to seek shallow pleasures. Nothing wrong with variety itself, but shallow pleasures. We just want to scroll through porn. We think every other woman could be exciting as well, something new. Live that for a certain amount of time, and you will see that your soul keeps on knocking at your door, telling you that that's not the way you want depth.
Right.
And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that because you said about the depth and the woman actually, wanting to get us deeper. And
Yeah.
we both share the same desire to realize that we're in the relationship. We actually share the same desire. It's not a thing of if you like something else than me. The question is, how do we combine it? How do we work together as a team?
Yes. And I love that. Actually brings me to the next question
Hmm.
because I see this really frequently in the dating scene. And what are the harmful consequences of porn, casual sex, and seeing women solely as sexual beings? Because I mean, as a woman, I have enjoyed porn before as education, as, how do you do this? How do you do that? Like, yes, it has its place. But when I watch some porn, it's really hard for me to actually feel it. I almost felt like, ugh, where's the love? Where's like the connection? Where's the depth? It feels so performative. It doesn't feel real. And I feel like I could see right through that. And sometimes it's hard for me to understand, how men like see that as exciting, but it makes sense. It's like, it has something, there's something there, but it's doing something to the unconscious, really
Hmm.
thirsty, hungry
Hmm.
version. So I would love for you to speak to that
Hmm.
of like, casual sex and why can it be harmful to all of
Yeah.
us?
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, there would be a scientific way to explain that, which is more about the neuroplasticity of our brain. Okay. I want to go shortly in that and then more into the spiritual part, which honestly also liberated me way more. So our brain is neuroplasticity is how our brain is built, and that means it can change. It can deform itself to a certain degree, and porn is actually distorting our sexuality, how we take sexuality, how we see sexuality, how we see women. It really distorts the image of a woman because everything is consciousness. And when you look at porn, you really train your subconscious mind to view women as an object. You are, as a man or woman, you're watching porn not to offer something, you are taking. Okay, you're not really giving anything valuable of yourself to porn. So the first thing is you start to be very much, deeply so, in a state of taking. Okay, you have all these naked people on the screen, one click. I don't even need to do anything. That's it. So it's impossible to watch porn, but then meet a woman and not really associate sex with taking. How much pleasure can I get from her? Oh, how do her tits look like? Her ass. That's nice. I want more of that. That is impossible. You will be in that state of mind. Okay. And that is bottomless. She will be boring for you at some point. You will see another Instagram woman and you will be like, oh, okay, she has a bit of a better tan, or she has a bit of a better that. I want that. Oh, or she grows older. What about 10 years, 20 years down the road? All of us, we grow older. The physical thing is, you know, deteriorating. So you will actually find yourself through porn at a state where you are not really seeing true beauty, because true beauty is eternal. True beauty cannot lose its beautiful magnificent essence. And so your whole relationship to beauty and what makes a woman beautiful is distorted. With that, a
Mm,
little side note, you women with promoting more and more of that, and also, you actually just add fuel to that fire. But anyways, that is not the point. The thing is, we can learn to really see sex as the most spiritual, highest, blissful experience. And from my personal experience and also talking to people, this is only possible when you really have given up that addiction to porn. That's when you can really clearly see again. Because everything is vibration, right? And the vibration of your soulmate, of you meeting the woman you truly want to devote your time with, it exists vibrationally. Okay, your soul remembers that vibration of it, and you can tune into that vibration. Now, porn gives a very different vibration to that. And if I would say the harm, because you asked about the harm of porn, we can talk about the physical harm, but the harm is this: it keeps you from meeting your soulmate, your lover, your beloved. It keeps you from the deepest possible realms of love. And if you
mm,
understand that, I'm sure you do not touch or want to touch porn again. Okay.
oof.
So the harm, again, there's also physically, but that's not where I really want to go into that much. But really, if you truly want to experience that divine union that your soul remembers, then I believe that porn is really interfering with your consciousness, infiltrating your consciousness with something that you do not want to manifest, actually. Because I
Mm,
am sure that most of the heartbreaks, toxicity, all of that power struggles between female and male, or also gay couples, doesn't matter, but all of these power struggles are coming from a distorted sexual behavior. And that is what porn is very much creating inside of us, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly. I don't know if you saw there was a show on Netflix about the porn industry. Are you
Mm,
familiar with that?
no, no.
And I am failing to remember the name of it, but I remember watching it and feeling to myself, yeah, that's kind of what I always felt. I mean,
Hmm.
energetically, you are invited in this woman, but there's these men with these cameras and they're having they're doing this thing, but the woman's not even getting paid a lot of money, but it's all there to, satisfy this hunger. And it's all about the man and doing this and conquering this. And just like the energy of like, hey, if a woman's doing this and she's feeling empowered, beautiful. But there is also this energy of like, these two people might not know each other. They're just coming for this gig. They're just there for the show, the performance, the entertainment. Wonderful. No one's
Hmm.
yucking their yum. But what I like to say is that, like, yeah, it doesn't feel like for the conscious, woman or man or queer, wherever you're at, for the ones that really want depth, it's in the getting to know. I feel like dating is this foreplay that just like builds. And I love foreplay. I feel like foreplay starts early in the day. It's how you say good morning to your lover. It's how you awaken. It's how you move about in the space. It's how you wear your clothes. I feel like the foreplay is this like build up, build up, build up. And an issue in our society is how sex becomes the first thing that we use to see if we're compatible with someone.
Mm.
Oh, is he big enough? Oh, do I feel the butterflies? Oh, how do we can we like kiss good together? And we like try to create like to see if they're worthy of our time to go further.
Yeah.
But now I'm in this era of being like, I actually, I'm 37, but I really feel that the parts of me that felt like I need to be, it was the unhealed versions of me. I need to be seen. I want to be loved by a man. I want to be lusted by a man. I want to be desired by a man because that'll make me feel more beautiful. But in that, it feels always empty. And now I'm in this season of my life where there's this buildup and this foreplay and this honoring and this dating and this courting that I want to feel from a man to know that this energy is like there, that he's
Mm,
putting in the work and that
mm,
he's like taking the time to get to know me, to honor my
mm.
body, to, take the time to put energy in. But when
Yeah.
you have men messaging you at like midnight or, your first date is like, "Oh, you wanna go back to my place and do this and that?" The first thing I think of is, "You must be doing this with every woman." And then it
Yeah.
makes me feel kind of yucked. I'm like, "I'm not that special.
Mhm.
You just
Yeah.
wanna." And yeah, that's the
Yeah.
feeling that
It's
comes from it.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine. And it's
Mhm.
so not funny, but it's interesting that you say that as a woman, the foreplay. I mean, in tantra, um we like not in tantra they teach us that you take longer the woman's body. That's one thing, but men don't want foreplay anymore.
Mm.
Men want to rush. Men want to, they manipulate, they give you all these nice promises and things to get to sex as fast as possible. There's this impatience around most men in that. And the question for me is always why? Why do men want to have sex so fast? It is again that boyish wound because sex, getting naked and being invited into a woman's body is what he feels as the biggest achievement of I am a man and I'm good enough and I'm validated. I am approved. So, and here is the thing. Deep down, he's scared that if she knows who he truly is, that he will not be loved anymore. Okay, that's really important to understand because out of that fear, he wants to rush into intimacy because he's scared the longer time she's spending with me, the less attractive I will be, the less masculine she will view me. So let us get to the point very fast. Okay, so she doesn't see all parts of me, but I can get that false sense of being loved intimately.
Mm. Mm.
And the thing is that what did I want to say with that as well? Now I forgot. But
Foreplay,
yeah,
rushing.
yeah. Out of that comes that rush, and that is always tell to man if you have you ever slept with a woman, looked into her eyes, totally dissolved in oneness? Have you cried from the depths of your soul because you were so touched? Have you truly met God in your sex life? And if that is not so, then you have probably been gone too fast, too soon. You have rushed. You have tried to, still hold pieces of yourself back. And yeah, I think that's a big part for me as a man is if we learn to be vulnerable, if we learn to be sensual with a woman, if we first really strip down the layers of our masks, of our ego, and we give that time, then really comes a certain point where you feel like, now I actually want to make love to the soul of this woman because I
Mhm.
truly feel love. That is very, very different. Yeah.
Right. Ooh, yes, we love that. What
Yeah.
came through while you were saying that too, in relation to foreplay, in relation to the slowdown that you said,
Hmm.
I truly love to be in those sensual, sexy spaces for hours. So when a man is rushing or is quick to go, to
Hmm.
release, it's obviously feeling a little disappointing. It's like, "Oh, you don't have control of this. Okay, now you're done." Okay, and then it's all over. But I do see and feel that if a man understands that a woman is multi-orgasmic and that the slower you create this connection and this intimacy, the more like the more you get. It's like getting a 5-course meal and
Hmm.
at the snacks and the things and the after dessert, like all of it together is all wholesome and you're there for longer. And if you want to, share that intimacy, you get more from it. And there was
Yes.
one more thing to that too about oh, the question actually I had because I asked this concept to another man before about semen retention and being able to hold it while you're going. And I once had a partner that I was like, "Are you gonna go ever?" And he's like, "Oh, girl, I came 30 times." And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And it was because he energetically came 30 times more
Mm,
than me. And I was like baffled. I was like, "How did that happen?" And so he had been able to harness his energy and bring it up and back down and circulate the energy and breathe and not
mhm,
need to blast. And the thought crossed my mind for a man who, like, sometimes we get guilt tripped into, well, I'm going to have blue balls. I'm going to be in pain if I can't go.
mhm,
I'm going to feel this pain. And then the woman feels guilt tripped into, oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get you to release. Let's go there. But the question is, like, because I don't have a man's body. But
mhm,
if you're working on this semen retention and you're holding it in and you're breathing through it, like, where does the blue balls happen? Does that tension continue and that holding in your,
mhm,
your balls, your sacrum, your root? Like,
mm,
what is that experience like
mm.
once you master that? Or does blue balls still happen?
No, not for me, but let's dive into that topic. First, one little thing I wanted to add before, because I just remembered, and then about the semen retention. Also, with the sleeping too fast with women, the one downside or consequence, symptom of that action of a man is that he will lose interest very soon
Mm,
and very fast. Okay.
mhm.
And that's important for women to know. If you let him in too soon, he most probably has not really been able to be fully vulnerable with you. And for a woman, it feels sexual encounter feels often more vulnerable because she really holds a in her womb ancestral, deep spiritual essence. And for a man, if he goes too fast, he will just be in that shallow space. And actually, after you've let him in, he will be again scared that over time you will actually see who he truly is. And he will most likely pull away. You know, the faster he wants to enter you, the faster he wants to exit that relationship. So that is, I think you should really write that down, because I don't want to see women be in pain, and I don't
Right.
want them to get hurt by these guys who do all of these, write them poetry and be nice and give them words, and they just want to get in their pants. And then if he cannot wait, yeah, then that will tell you what's going to happen afterwards. He will just leave.
Totally.
So yeah, that's one thing. Now the semen retention. Well, it's not blue balls. I've been experimented for the last 8 years with it very intensively. And there has been many different phases, to be honest. I was in the beginning very much Mantak Chia phase, which was the Kegels. You squeeze your pelvic floor, you try to really circulate it up. Um, you try to hold that energy. The guy that you met, I was chasing sensation through semen retention. I wanted 30 orgasms and stuff. And that there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's wonderful. I think that's a very interesting path. For me, this has created blue balls. The attempt to go to that point of almost no return and then hold it and then going back, my body was all the time holding tension, to keep that energy inside of my system. And I would get blue balls. I would, go on long semen retention, even have sex with my ex-girlfriend, but it didn't feel comfortable. And even though when I had energetical orgasms that felt amazing, I did not achieve my goal, which was to be more loving, more open, more radiant in daily life. It was just a short little thing that I felt. And I also had like 5, 6 orgasms that I could feel, never 30 though. And it was nice, but it didn't transform me. And then I got into the research and into the knowledge of Diana Richardson, which is talking about slow sex and relaxing into sex instead of doing it. And all of that attempt for me to reach the sensation, inner orgasm, to lock it, it felt so freeing to actually slow down with a woman, to actually let things unfold. And I started to feel that my body, my genitals, they had their own wisdom. And the first time I was really listening to that, I was not trying to do a technique. I was not trying to do something correct with breathing. The only thing I tried was to be absolutely present, loving with the woman I am with. And that has brought me to transformative states of consciousness where I truly felt the infinite love that flows through us, that makes us move. Sex went for 2-3 hours in deep, wonderful states. And I was like,
Mhm.
that is for me a much more nurturing experience. And I had zero blue balls, still
Mm,
not. And
mm,
so there I came through that experience. What I realized is that if you are involved with your heart while sex is a man, it is hard to ejaculate. Everyone who can really experience that will know that that's true. I had moments in sex where I had premature ejaculation problems, and a part of me wanted to go out of the experience. I realized that my system was so intelligent that the premature ejaculation was actually pointing towards you want to go out of that experience. This experience is stressful, it's performative, it is trying to prove to the woman who you are and what you can do to her. And I don't like it. I want you to get out of that. And that's why I ejaculate.
wow.
On the other experience, you are so much in love, you're like, I want this to never end. I want to keep going, and I want to share that space with her. And suddenly, the urge to ejaculate is gone. Actually, you
Mm,
want to ejaculate your entire being into that woman. You want to be
wow.
so loving and offering to her that you feel like after that experience, you're so energized. You're like, ejaculated my soul into her. Okay. And the body is totally free. The body is relaxed. There's no tension. There's no chase for sensation anymore. And the woman can relax as well. She will feel that he's not there to perform or to show off or to make her come. He's there to actually be with her. For the first time, he's
Yeah.
actually somebody is with her right now. Yeah.
That is the first time I have heard it in this iteration, in this flavor
Mm.
of the premature ejaculation being this thing of like, you know, I mean, it does have that energy. There's a quick, like almost flighty
Hmm.
nervousness or inability to control and soften and slow down. It's like that, what you're saying, of course, that's your experience, but it's very wild to witness and hear that, and yeah, thank you for sharing. These are these are vulnerable conversation. We're putting our sex on the table, our intimate parts on the table, blue balls, all the things. I mean, that they like, this is real. That this is also I mean,
Yeah.
for anybody in the audience that also, as a man, if you're having that experience, I would love to hear, you share or open up your heart to this space. And like, for us talking about this and me speaking about, like, being in love and being in sex, and it feels like truly when we're really in love with somebody, you don't want time, you want to slow time down. When
Hmm.
you're really in love with somebody, you want the date to last longer. My friend Jade said she had this 30-hour kiss, and she wasn't joking.
Mm.
She's like, "We had a kiss last for 30 hours." And I was like, "Hold up." Like, "What?" But then he ghosted her and he hasn't spoken to her since. And so it's just an interesting thing. And I felt the sacred rage for her. I'm like,
Mm.
"Okay,
Hmm.
regardless, the fact that the 30-minute 30-hour kiss happened is wonderful, but
Yeah.
how can how can you not, like, have that connection and deepen that and the safety and vulnerability? So, like, that
Hmm.
experience is very beautiful, and the softening, and it
Mm.
kind of brings me to that next question of how can you meet God in these sexual spaces,
Mm.
with sex? Sex can reach you to God, and just as a woman, understanding that my pussy, my yoni, my flower is a portal from the divine that I could bring life through from spirit into matter. So when a
Hmm.
woman understands that, she has the control of what goes in and what goes out, that she is actually the one that decides when to birth life, when to give it to the right person to. So when you're conscious and you take your time, and you don't have a mistake or you don't accidentally get pregnant, things like that. Obviously things deepen and there is this consciousness in that. Not to say accidents happen, but in that space, what I'm getting at is the soulful, deepening, tantric, sacred union of the two, reaching God. I'm curious because you have shared that before. Like, how do you know you've reached the God or that divine connection through sex?
It's a tricky question because would I ever claim that I reached God? You know, God for me, it itself, it's an ever expansive force. So I don't think somebody reaches it and then it has it. You know, you get
Mm,
clues, you get tastes, but once you feel, you know, that there is an infinite space. So I would not really feel comfortable saying here, I reached God and I had the enlightenment. No, I reached parts of it. I reached deep, wonderful, blissful experiences, but I have not reached it all. But how to get closer to it? Let's see. And there comes Christ consciousness, okay? If we look at existence, how it was created, there is father mother consciousness. There is father, which gives an impulse, a seed, an activity. And there is the mother aspect, which gives birth to that seed, which plants, which has a rejection and a bonding mechanism. Okay, I want this, I don't want this. That's the mother aspect. That's also how our ego operates, all of it. Out of that is seen that all in nature is electromagnetic. Electro is the electrical impulse of the father consciousness, and magnetic is just that which I said now, which is that magnetic force between repulsion and bonding, rejection. Okay, but that is not real important to understand. Important is to know that we are electromagnetic beings. And the woman has the plus pole in her breasts and her minus pole in her vagina. And with the man, it's the opposite. So for a woman, she needs to go through the plus pole, which is her heart, in order to feel aroused sexually. So she needs
mm,
to feel a man, she needs to feel his energy, you know,
safety.
safety. She goes over
Mhm.
the heart. For a man, the plus pole is in his genitals. So for him, the animal is activated when he sees something good, nice looking, you know, that's the thing. But he needs to learn, same as the woman needs to learn to connect to her sexuality and really, you know, get over the shame in order to connect it. A man needs to learn to not tame his animal, but actually transform it into the God, which means he learns to bring that animal instinct into his heart, into his deepest expression of who he is. And because we have these different poles, and they are also with gay couples, whatever, electromagnetic, it can also be practiced there. But let's now stay with the heterosexual couples. If we connect physically, and if we would not move for a period of time or really slow, there happens a very important electromagnetic exchange simply by connecting our body parts. There wouldn't even have to do or happen much if we would practice 3-4 weeks just connecting, being in that space. The penis gets more sensitive, the vagina gets more sensitive, emotions that are stored are being released simply by the electromagnetic field of the plus and minus poles starting to circulate. Now, why is this important with reaching to God? As we said, that the universe was created of the universal consciousness and then split up into father and mother, which I explained, in order to bring birth to this reality. If we want to find God, we need to bring these electromagnetic impulses into equilibrium, okay? Into balance,
Mm,
divine union. Jesus Christ, he was very masculine, but he certainly had a very feminine appearance. He was feminine, he was deeply connected, emotional. So he was the equilibrium of these two forces. And through sex, we can actually enter the body through this electromagnetic field. And this alone can really propel us into different states of consciousness, hence getting more into this electromagnetic equilibrium where we feel unconditional love. Okay, we feel nurtured, protected, we feel inspired at the same time, and therefore we can reach God closer. That's a very physical approach to it, but this can happen mostly through these practices of breathing, of relaxing, opening the heart, the woman feeling into her vagina. And if sex is practiced like that, given it time, then it slowly opens the door to God and he can nicely slip in.
God, give me your foreplay. No, it's interesting because when people are having a really beautiful experience, like, actually the words that come out are like, "Oh God, oh God, God," and, like, you
Yeah,
actually can
yeah,
say
exactly.
and it happens naturally. It's like,
Yes.
why is this
Yes.
happening naturally? But the way you explained it is, one, a way that I've never heard before. So thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that, sprinkling your
Yeah.
knowledge. And just it is a beautiful and it I think this is why I mean, there's many reasons why I became a sex coach, but one of the things is I do believe that it is one of the most and can be one of the most liberating, expansive, and beautiful experiences on this planet. Granted, I have not given birth yet, but in my mind, the amount of energy, sensuality, excitement, joy, pleasure, connectiveness, intimacy, like all of these things that happen all in one, and the physical body being so close, we're at our most raw version, our nudity, our most, sacred versions of ourselves that come into this world. And so
Yeah.
to actually have and honor these experiences, I really believe there's medicine. You can heal through sex. You can have an angergasm, a griefgasm, a joygasm,
Mhm.
just so many things that could come through the body
Yeah.
and be birthed through. And there's this thing called sex magic where you're having these heightened states of consciousness and you're thinking about like
Mm.
these things that you either desire in your life, like let's
Mhm.
say for me it's dancing on stage somewhere because I want to do that one day, but like the little bits of like living and breathing and having these experiences bringing me closer to the joys that I already want. Like I do feel there's so much medicine in
Mm.
it. And I really appreciate these conversations and you sharing to deepen for men to deepen their connection to their heart, to soften, to like eye to eye contact. I mean, we love
Mhm.
a good presence. We love
Mhm.
presence in these
Mhm.
spaces. We know when men are not present with us. We
Mhm.
know when they're not here. So I love, what you've shared and these codes are very important and
Mhm.
connecting to the divine within us because that is the energy of creation,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? Creation, birth, life. It's creating life, creating
Yeah.
togetherness with your person. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, yeah, I really appreciate that and what you've shared. And I know we don't have much more time, but what you
It's
have 10 minutes.
18:18 here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. 10, I can be even a bit later. It depends how long you, but absolutely. Just keep going. I still have, depends how long you want the episode to go.
Whoa.
But
Oh my
there's a
gosh.
lot
I
to
could just,
talk about. I mean,
there's
it's
so much.
rabbit hole after rabbit hole, you know. Yeah.
Right. And this is really good because I'm gonna take a pause. I'm gonna sip this cacao for a moment.
Yeah. I also, I can talk in the meanwhile because if we understand that these experiences are being so deep and that there is the potential, you know, I feel like it's hard to tell somebody quit porn or just, give up on casual sex or something. That is hard for a man, but only because he doesn't know what is awaiting on the other side. He doesn't know the potential yet. He doesn't really know the depths inside of him or inside of a woman that he is yet to meet. But once he knows it, and I think that's nice to just give clarity and say like, hey, look, you can really, your mind can be blown away. You can meet deep parts of you. You can feel more loving, creative, open in your daily life. You will be radiating with inspiration when you change the way you behave with women. Then they start to listen, then they start to be like, really? That life would be possible? So it's really not about blaming or saying you do something wrong or something, but just giving the potential to it. And I would also wonder actually about you, I see a lot of, you mentioned that in the beginning, there's a lot of that space in spiritual community and tantra and stuff of, a part of me feels like some are bypassing it. They're using it just to get laid as well. And my personal experience is the more I practice with it, and I was also in a time of practicing it. I was also in a time where I was like, okay, let's have partners who I practice Tantra with. But the more I touch these deeper parts, the less I wanted to practice with different women or with a woman I'm not committed to. It was,
Mhm,
for me, not possible anymore. The
mhm.
moment I reached a certain depth, I was like, I cannot use it as a practice. I cannot, I have touched something so sacred, secrets of this universe. I want to now devote myself to a woman who I really go into deeper, deeper things. I don't know. How is it about you that you are also more into devotion, commitment? You're also very free spirited, but you're not the one who says, I am fully wild, liberated, doing all kinds of experiences. Why not?
Why not have more wild experiences with, like, random people?
Yes.
Ooh, good question. I feel like my yoni is a gift, and I
Mm,
feel as though I want to actually preserve it and revere it, to hold it in a sacred space so that when I want to give it to a man, this is my ultimate gift.
mm,
This isn't this is my ultimate offering. This is all of me and
mhm,
some.
mm,
So to be in these like wild erotic spaces and just kind of give it well willy-nilly, she's
mhm,
not happy. She's actually not experiencing like, sure, we can have multiple orgasms. We can enjoy it and have fun and like drop in and like go there.
mm,
But I've never found like true depth pleasure in just connecting quickly with somebody and
mhm,
then poof, goodbye. I feel
mhm,
as though I have something to offer in relationship, and
mhm,
I want to revere it and honor it and hold it sacred, and she's happier that way. And it's not to say she doesn't feel this ping of electricity. When I think of something that makes me horny, I feel this electricity pulse in my
mhm,
vulva, and I'm like, "Ooh, that excited me." But
mhm,
I've learned to preserve it because it actually turns me on more
mm,
to preserve it and to be like, "Oh, this is something special that you get when you
mhm,
treat me good." And it's
mhm,
like a reward system that, like, is like, I would give this to my king if he treats me correctly, and therefore I will give it, and
mm,
when it feels right. And
mhm, mm,
I'm guilty of connecting quicker than I've liked, and it has left me empty.
mhm,
I'm guilty of one night stands in my 20s, like, way back when, and it's left me depleted.
mm,
Used a feeling of usedness, like, when you
mhm,
said the man will get what he wants and then he'll leave. Oh, that's happened
mhm,
so many times where no longer do they message me, they ghost me, and then I'm like, "I'm sorry, like, wasn't that the most amazing sexual experience that we just had, and now you're
mm,
gone?"
mhm,
And then it makes me feel like, "Wait a second, like, aren't I what?"
mm,
And so it confuses me. So I've had enough of those experiences that have left me
mhm,
depleted and unwanted, and my ego is like, "No, I wanna feel I wanna feel wanted. So
mhm,
how much can you show me that you want me?" Because the foreplay feels funner or more
mhm,
fun than the
mhm,
experience of this quick 5 or 6 orgasms that I get to have.
mhm.
Does that answer that question?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. And I
Absolutely.
and I do feel wild. I have this thing, it's a wild thing. I don't know if it's gonna actually say it
Yeah,
on there. I
nice.
do feel wild,
Yeah.
and I feel expanded and sexually embodied. I feel like I've been my favorite game when I was little was hide and seek because I used those moments to touch myself. At a really young
Mhm,
age, I learned how to self-pleasure
mhm,
because I don't know how, I just learned it, and
mhm,
I have felt that connection with
mhm,
myself. I know what I want. I know what turns me on. I know what makes me feel good.
mhm,
And it hurts my heart to see women in these spaces not
mhm,
feel connected to their
mm,
vulva, to their
mhm,
yoni, to
mhm,
say, I don't know what the rapture or the warmth of horniness or the
mm,
electricity feels
mm,
like. Like, it actually breaks my heart to know
mm.
that they have been so disconnected from this portal, this pulse of
Yeah.
beauty, of this sacred yoni, this flower, this
Mm,
I mean, she opens and she expands when she feels safe, and
mm,
she lubricates naturally, and she does
mhm,
all these things on her own without me needing to say anything. So it's this
mhm.
beautiful multi-orgasmic, like, and just to share a bit of information, did you know that the clitoris has 10,000 nerve endings?
No, I didn't know that fact.
10,000.
Insane.
It's the only organ made by God that is meant to be pleasure. That's
Mm,
it. That is its sole purpose. It doesn't pee, it doesn't do anything else. It is there to experience pleasure. So we bypass this organ. We don't give it attention. We are
mm,
told what to wear, not what to do. We are told how not to
mhm,
show up sexy. And there's no wonder why a woman feels suppressed and repressed and disconnected from that beautiful piece of her, because
mhm,
she hasn't been taught how to honor and treat it good or touch her in a way that feels safe. Sometimes touching self feels scary or shameful. And that is the reoccurring thing for women that I work with, is that there's a lot of shame around touching themselves, that it feels so uncomfortable that they don't know what to do. So a lot of
mhm,
the work I do is like mirror work, touching the thighs next to your vulva, giving yourself lotion and touching yourself in these sensual spaces to feel safety in your body. You don't have to penetrate to feel joy, but once she's excited, asking that she
mhm,
wants it, then you know that it's
mm,
ready. So
mm,
never pressure, always
mhm,
presence and pleasure. And so the big long answer to what you said is deeply honor my vulva, my flower, my space, because
mhm,
it's the most important thing in my life and the most important
mhm,
organ of all of the systems. And when she is shut down, she's scared, angry, she dries up, she
mm,
doesn't want to open. And then it actually makes the woman look depleted,
mm,
exhausted, like angry, like just there's a radiance to a woman when she preserves and honors and feels a life of pleasure. So
yeah,
I feel more radiance when
mhm,
I connect to me,
mm,
and I also feel more empowered when I
mhm,
have the control of what goes in and out of me. It's a
mm,
very empowering
yeah,
experience that I have just started reaching
yeah,
in my 30s, and
yeah,
so it's a big deal. It's a big deal for me, so thank you for asking that question. I truly appreciate
yeah.
that.
Thank you for answering it so honest and wonderful, actually. It's nice. And I think out of that, we can really say that it's the distorted relationship that we have is actually we men being numb to our heart and you women being numb to your flower. Okay. And that creates then that weird dynamic, okay, where we are, yeah, the thing we talked about. So it's beautiful actually to see that women can really touch them, really connect with their sexuality, bring that part into their thing and into their experience. And then I'm sure that if when they're more in touch with them, with their flower, when they feel it more, less numb to it, they will also be like, hey, it's so sacred. As you say, it was beautifully put into word. It is so sacred, that space. To who am I actually giving it? Who do I really allow entrance? Does he embody at least some kind of king energy, divine energy? Is he really seeing me? And I think that comes, this intuitive knowledge comes when you women connect to your vulva for sure. So yeah,
Mm,
beautifully put.
yes. Yes. And it's so wild. I'm still learning the body as we all are. And I
Mm,
experienced my first nipple orgasm like
mm,
last year. And I just did not realize that we have access to these points that create so much sensation and excitement, and but when
mm,
we really feel safe, that is when we can allow more beautiful sensation and liberation and expansion. So as a woman, I am asking the men and women and queer folk in this space, like, what is it that you really desire, and how can you be a safer lover?
mm,
Is it listening more? Is it softening? Is it creating more distance between, sexy time and, like actually dating? Like, how are you creating more safety and expansion? These are
mm.
just questions to ask. And I feel like this conversation covered so much. And I'm hoping that there'll be more conversations because these are really good
Yeah.
codes. I still have like three other questions to ask, but I do want to honor your time and also, like, be able to come, back to this space and we can talk more. But I do feel like this was a very
Hmm.
beautiful conversation that I'm hoping will reach, the right people that need to listen to this medicine that desire deeper connection, sensuality, to embody their retention,
Hmm.
their sacredness. Maybe they honor themselves that much more today because, you know,
Hmm.
we've spoken to it. And so, yeah. How are
Yeah.
you feeling? Do you have any like closing questions or statements that you'd like to share?
No, I mean, yeah, there will be a lot, as you say. There's so much to cover, and I just love to talk about it and to experience it. And but yeah, no, there's not really something that I would add. I think you've done this wonderful. It's really nice talking to you, and also seeing that we are in a world where more and more people are awakening to that. I see so many people in my comment section saying like, "Where are those men? Why am I not experiencing it?" And that by itself is such a limiting belief. It keeps you shut off vibrationally from seeing and attracting men who are there. There are hundreds, thousands of wonderful men. There are conscious men working on themselves, and it's not about perfection. It's not about who has it all and who got it. It's about, do I have a man by my side who tells me that he is willing to work on it? That's
Yeah,
enough. Somebody
right.
who says, babe, I stay with you. I'm not going anywhere. I want to work on that. I want to see where it goes. I really want to overcome my ego and my attachments. I will react emotionally. I will mess up. I will make mistakes, but I'm going to stay here. I think that's enough. There is no need to somebody who is, I don't know, a sex coach or anything. No, it can be just somebody who's willing. I think that's it. And there are plenty of these people out there. And yeah.
Yeah, and speaking to that, the filter of a woman, because
Hmm.
she's seen that lens of there is no good men around and she's only invited men into her space that have given her the reflection, reminding her how toxic he might be, how much she has to work on. No, I don't want to be mommy to you. I think
Hmm.
to invite women to open up their filter, that there is infinite possibilities because like you said, it's a lack-based mentality that there's not enough, but
Hmm.
there's hundreds, if not thousands. They're just not
Yeah.
as vocal. Maybe they're learning, they're observing, they're witnessing. They're not as vocal as you are, but they exist and they want to have these conversations.
Yeah.
So it's the filter that we look
Exactly.
through it.
Yeah.
I believe it's possible. That's why I feel like I've brought in men in my sphere recently, going to music festivals, being around these conscious spaces and inviting and being myself, not
Hmm.
looking, not seeking, not thirsty anymore. But I'm
Hmm.
like, I'ma be me. And then these people come and then I get to be like, no, thank you. Thank you. Ah, yes.
Hmm.
No more. But, like, I get
Yeah.
to decide, and there's an
Hmm.
abundance of it.
Yeah.
And when you connect to Christ consciousness and you connect to God, there is abundance. There's never lack. There's enough
Hmm.
grains of sand. There's enough droplets of water. There's enough
Hmm.
salt in the world. There's enough. There's more than
Exactly.
enough.
Yes.
More than enough. And so I feel that it's possible, men and women, that there are an infinite supply. If you can tell yourself that mantra, I'm thankful for the birds and the bees and the opportunities, the birds and
Hmm.
the bees and the opportunities. Just like the
Yeah.
opportunities are infinite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ooh, this is good. This is so good. This is really juicy. I'm so excited about this conversation. And I'm so grateful that you came, from Switzerland to here and you're on your next journey into life to Costa
Mm.
Rica and you're going to share your breath work with the world. So if anybody wants to connect with Sven Chanton, did I say that
Yes. Yeah.
correctly?
Well said. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Chanton. He is on
Chanton. Yeah.
Instagram as Sven Chanton. That's your full name. That's your
Hmm.
Instagram. It is
Yeah.
also your podcast name.
Hmm.
Correct? So you can find him on
Exactly.
Spotify, Apple
Yes.
Podcasts. You wanna listen to his short little divine blurbs or codes. They're like 9, 12 minutes long, whereas my podcast is like 50 plus minutes. So
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice. The conversations I also did long, but if I talk alone, it's like in 15 minutes, it's mostly done. But this is nice. It's beautiful.
yes. So before we close, we will end with a poem that he has to
Mm,
share from one of his reels. But I just want to invite everybody that if you enjoyed this, to like, rate the show. I know that sounds like, oh, but trust me, it helps the
yeah, yes.
algorithms and help push it out to the right people. Or comment in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like leave a little comment and share from your heart what really resonated, because this will allow us to continue these conversations, to know what's really alive within you. And then also for my mailing list at honeybeelovealchemy.com, you just go to honeybeelovealchemy.com. Like once you're there, you could decide to join the mailing list, whether you're single and sovereign and sexy, or you're looking for tantric ideas for you and your partner, or if you just want to be in the know for some of the programs that I offer for love and intimacy, or any retreats that are coming up. So stay tuned. I'll be doing devotional date night retreats, couples retreats, women's retreats, learning how to flow and dance with fire. And there's just so much to share. So thank you all for your support, because it's allowing to help Honeybee Love Alchemy, you know, expand and be a part of, you know, the space. And we're all learning and growing. So I appreciate you all. And the mailing list is a good place to start. And yeah, and you can find Sven on Instagram too.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I need to get these websites and stuff running. It's funny. I'm actually not a technology person in this sense. I always love to do things in person with the breathworks and stuff, but it will get there. But for now, Instagram is enough connecting with me there.
Well, and you literally have like, I literally found you a week ago and you were at
Mm.
11,000 followers. And just this week, you've already gained 2,000 more followers. You're at 13,000 now. I don't know if you noticed that, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what just happened in a week? So you, without a website, your voice, your medicine is being
yeah.
shared, and you're growing because your authenticity is
Mm,
allowing that vibration to come. And the
mm,
people that are need to hear the medicine and that are magnetized to that
mm,
naturally.
mm.
So without your technicality, without your website, without all the things,
Yeah,
like your message is being found and received because it's authentic. So we appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's wonderful. That's a nice way to look at it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're open to share the poem
Yeah,
from that
it's
one
funny. You
reel?
you actually chose that from
Yes,
my
I did.
post. It's funny. I'm always like when I record reels, I love to write afterwards down, and sometimes writing is even easier than talking. But I'm always wondering if people really read it. After listening, still reading. So yeah, it's nice to see that you actually do read it.
And it was a reel about porn, right? That's where it came from. It was like the unconscious
Yes,
man and porn. Mhm.
yes. So it came from porn, and I think that the writing afterwards, it was. So I talk more about how it distorts the image of the feminine, I think, and I wanted to point to the real beauty of a woman, the feminine part, which gets neglected in porn. So it's about a woman, but you can also relate to your own feminine essence inside of you. So it's a poem to the feminine aspect of life. I think wanting to invoke really into a man or woman the true aliveness, beauty of a woman. All right, let's go. She dances, she plays, she runs with the wolves. Her innermost being is wild, untamed, and beautiful. Her soul is the construct of God. Her soul yearns to be seen, protected, and unified. This world depends on her liberation. The divine feminine will heal us, nurture us, and give us a real sense of beauty. A woman who feels safe and seen is the greatest medicine for this world. And we men carry a huge responsibility to protect and create safety in this world. If we stay in our lust-driven consciousness, where we take and exploit instead of give and serve, we harm this world and ourselves. We must awaken to the divine. We must protect its essence. Otherwise, this world has to endure even more pain. Every single action matters, my brother. The way you see women is crucial. May God open your eyes and heart. I love you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I appreciate your presence and your play and your prayer and
Mm,
your poem, all the PPPs, and everything that you bring to this world, helping elevate the consciousness, connection, and safety, and what women are looking for,
mm.
and what men are seeking, and all of us folks on the spectrum. And yeah, thank you so much for this conversation. This, I feel, is the first of many. And we'll be able to connect again. So
Yes.
I love you all for being here with us. I want to lift this ritual space and thank God for this opportunity and this infinite blessing that made this possible, from the connections to the technology to the people to the words to the wisdom and to our energy that is available to make all of this happen. And even the people listening, your energy here, may you be divinely guided and protected towards your highest calling to be a safer lover and all of that beautiful thing. Amen. Ashe. And so it is.
Wonderful.
We'll, we'll see you all soon.
Yes. Thank you. Much love.
Ciao.